Lust is very natural in Islam. I think in Islam, it's a world-embracing religion, so it looks at lust very positively, and human sexual contentment is also spiritual. What it requires, though, is that it should be done within the lawful boundaries of marriage, etc. Modesty is very much connected with it. And the modesty, by the way, the rules of the modesty applies to both men and women. I still remember my mother telling my sisters not to speak with sweet voice on the phone. When you don't know the person, you must be strict, and your voice should not be very, tempting to the other person's ears. So it was quite strange for us to hear that, by the way. When I used to see my mother telling my sister, I was surprised. But it was something that is, as a preventive measure, my sister was being trained by my mother that you don't show, to any man, because men have their diseases in their heart, If you talk very softly, they might, fall for you, and it's not good, So all those things are part of the tradition, because the Prophet used to discourage that kind of, speech or that kind of, temptation in fulfilling the lust. So Islamic tradition is very much geared towards preventing corruption of behavior. So before it happens, let's build something, institutions, that would not encourage that kind of behavior. Adultery is treated as a public sin. It impacts upon the social ethics and social behavior. If it is condoned very easily, then there's a fear that it might encourage others to engage in similar activities. Fidelity in marriage is extremely important. Men and women should be faithful to one another, and therefore the Qur'an prescribes very serious, penalties for the man who is unfaithful and for the woman who is unfaithful in the family life. Adultery shows the unfaithfulness. Fornication also in a very similar way. A married woman, for example, engages in a sex activity with another man, with a stranger. All these things are looked at very grievously in the society.